Intermittent Fasting Made Easy, Part 1. Hey everybody, this is Mike Erlob coming at you again from the Flex Compound with another episode of Power Your Life. So it is so great to be here with you all. Something I want to share with you. It was something I was thinking about the other day, and it happened over this summer. But one day this summer, our dog Sadie, she's a little Maltese poodle mix, a little Maltipoo, about 7-8 pounds. Well, she was standing right outside the patio door, and the door was open and the screen door was open. But she was just standing there on the outside, and she refused to go through the open door. She just would not do it. She was just kind of sitting there like she really wanted to go through, but it was like there was this invisible force field that just wouldn't let her go through. And we stood inside the house and we would look at her, and we would call to her, Sadie, come on through the door, come on. And she just kept acting, so she wanted to get through that door so bad. But again, it was like I said, there was like this invisible force field that just kept her from, going through and just kept her on the outside. And I could tell that she really wanted to get into the house, but that she just couldn't bring herself to walk through that doorway. And then it hit me, see, I realized that earlier in that day, she had thought that the door was open when in fact it wasn't. There was actually a screen door that was in place, and she actually had walked or ran right into that. And so, I guess that experience was just fresh in her mind, and, she was just scared to walk through that door even though it was open. And so what I ended up having to do is I actually had to step through the doorway to show her that the screen door was not in place, that in fact the doorway was indeed open for her. Now, I don't know what really made me think about that over the weekend, but for some reason, that was just in the forefront of my mind. And you know what? As I thought about that, as I thought about Sadie's reluctance to step through an open door, it got me thinking about things. It got me thinking that in a way, we're all like Sadie, right? You see, she didn't want to experience again that running into the screen door. I guess that experience just was not all that pleasant for her. Now, she was hesitant to take that first step. Even though there was nothing in the way, she just couldn't get past that experience of running into the screen door. Despite all of the encouragement that I gave her, she still wouldn't take that first step until I physically showed her that it really was open. So many times in our lives, I think we let negative experiences block us from taking that next step. We may have been hurt or experienced something that we just didn't like, and now we have a fear that it might happen again. And even though that fear is now irrational and, it's no longer any danger to us, we still get stuck. We get stuck from moving forward. We get stuck in a rut. And it robs us from the joy that life has to offer. You see, we let that fear paralyze us, and it ends up enslaving us. But the reality is, these fears are not real. They're just stories that we've made up in our heads as a result of those negative experiences. And it takes someone to show us that the doorway is open, and it's okay to take that first step through. You see, you are meant to live a life free from fear, free from worry, free from anxiety and darkness. You are meant to live in the light. So let's take that first step through the doorway of health into the world of intermittent fasting. Now, I want you to know one thing. I want you to know that intermittent fasting is safe, and it's easy and effective to do. And what I'm doing is I'm going to be starting this two-part series with the first part today just to show you and to talk about, how easy it is to adopt intermittent fasting into your life. Now listen, I've been doing this. I've been intermittent fasting now for well over a year. And, I've got some really great ways and tips that I can give you that will really help. But the first thing I want to do is I want to cover a few things with you. Recently, there was this article that came out, and I've referenced this before, but I want to talk about it again. It was in the New England Journal of Medicine, and there was a really good report on intermittent fasting. And it's titled, Effects of Intermittent Fasting on Health, Aging, and Disease. In fact, in the show notes, we'll post a link to this, okay? Now, it's a bit of a technical report, okay? So I don't want to bore you with all of the scientific details. But this report, and this has been proven in science, these are the proven benefits of intermittent fasting, okay? First, weight loss. That's a big one, right? It also has shown to have, your body will have improved stress resistance in the body, okay? So when you're intermittent fasting, it builds up the body's resistance to stressful events. Whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, your body tolerates stress better. You live longer, okay? Intermittent fasting will improve your balance and coordination. It has shown to improve your thinking and memory. It prevents and reverses diabetes. Now I'm talking about type 2 diabetes, right? It has shown that it will improve blood pressure, lower a resting heart rate, lower cholesterol levels, lower your triglycerides, lower your glucose levels. It has shown that it will reduce the markers of systemic inflammation and oxidative stress, which means to you that it actually lowers atherosclerosis, which means it lowers the risk of heart disease and stroke. It also reduces the incidence of cancer. It reduces the incidence of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. It improves asthma symptoms. It improves multiple sclerosis symptoms. It also, those who are intermittent fasting were shown to heal faster from wounds and also from trauma. I don't know about you, wow. To me, that is a whole bunch of benefits. And all you have to do is change one thing, okay? You just change one thing, and that one thing is the timing of when you eat. So you know what? Even with all of those benefits, right? Now we could go back through and talk about them, but I'm going to tell you right now that almost all of those benefits, guess what? There's probably a pill out there for each one of those, right? So this intermittent fasting, it replaces, the medication. It can free you from being enslaved into that, never-ending cycle of taking pill after pill after pill. Many times you have to take a pill to counteract the effects of the first pill that you were taking, right? So even with all of these benefits, many folks, they still have such a hard time with this idea of intermittent fasting. I know some of you might think that this is just all too complicated, right? That there's just no way it's that simple. Well, listen, this is just a lie that many of us tell ourselves, and that just isn't true. The truth is, it really is that easy. It really is that simple. The numbers don't lie. The research is there to back it up. All you have to do is change the timing of when you eat and cut yourself back to 2 meals a day. Another reason that a lot of people don't want to start intermittent fasting is that they get too hungry or they have low blood sugar issues. Now listen, there are medical conditions that can affect your blood sugar, right? So, like anything, you should always consult your physician before you start any intermittent fasting or diet program. And when first starting intermittent fasting, you will be hungry. I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to get hungry because look, you've conditioned your body for years to expect food when you wake up. So any change is going to take your body a few weeks to adjust. And if you've eaten a lot of carbs or sugar, that adjustment will take a little bit longer because believe it or not, sugar is a drug. Okay? And that's another proven fact. It has the similar effects on your brain chemistry. Get this. It has the similar effects on your brain chemistry as cocaine does. Now, if that doesn't wake you up, they've done the PET scans, they've done these scans where they look at the brain chemistry, the neurotransmitters being released when somebody's eating sugar and those that are on cocaine, and they are similar. You can get addicted to sugar, okay? So listen, there will be a period of adjustment as your body detoxifies itself. But this is temporary. And once you get through it, I'm telling you guys, the payoff is huge, all right? Another reason many don't want to do intermittent fasting is they just don't think it can match with their schedule. I get it. We're all busy. But listen, intermittent fasting, it actually fits better with a busy lifestyle. You only have to find an 8-hour period in which you eat, followed by 16 hours of not eating. So guess what? That's less time making meals, that's less prep time, that's less eating time. You have more time to live your life. Listen, this can be adapted to any schedule. So let me go over a few tips with you that'll make this process even easier for you, okay? These are things that I've experienced and that I want to share with you. So first things first. Number one, cut the sugar before you start, okay? So the biggest thing that new and experienced intermittent fasters struggle with is sugar cravings and withdrawal symptoms, okay? So I've even noticed this, if I take a couple of days off and I eat too many carbs or, I eat too much sugar, that you experience that craving within the next 24 to 48 hours as you're getting back on your intermittent fasting, okay? So you start feeling those withdrawal symptoms. And here's the thing you have to remember. It isn't so much that you're really hungry during those times that you spent not eating. It's more really that you're craving something, those sugar cravings. You're craving a piece of candy or cake. And so your body's telling you that you're hungry, but you're not. You've had plenty to eat. It's just those cravings of that sugar. So the best way to deal with this first is before you go into the intermittent fasting, just cut back as much sugar from your diet as you can before you start to fast. Now, you already know that it's not good for you, so just take a week and wean yourself from the soda, from the sweet coffee drinks, the lattes, the matcha moto, whatever it is you're getting at Scooters or Starbucks. But just wean yourself off of that, guys. Empty out the cookie jar. Stop eating the ice cream as a late night snack. Stay off of the peanut butter. Once you've eliminated a lot of the sugar you've been consuming, now you're ready to get started with your fast. All right? The next tip I have for you guys is stay well hydrated. All right? Water is your best friend when you are fasting. Not only is it going to keep you full, but quite frankly, it's going to give you something to do when you're not eating. It will also make sure that you keep up your energy and that you are able to continue to function throughout the day. The main reason that many people will start to feel bad and they start getting headaches when they're fasting is because they're getting dehydrated. Drinking plenty of water will also help your body burn through that excess body fat for energy. So, the next tip I have for you guys, this is a big one. Get plenty of sleep, okay? This is really, really important. I can't stress enough how important this is. You've got to get plenty of quality sleep every night of the week, okay? But in particular, you need to do this when you're doing your intermittent fasting. You see, here's the deal. When you're tired and sleep deprived, it is harder to make smart decisions. Your willpower goes down. You find yourself drawn to those cookies or chips in a vain effort, to stay awake at that time. You start telling yourself little stories in your mind. Oh, it's not going to hurt. Yeah, you can eat that. It's okay. This one time won't hurt. You know what? When you're tired, you start listening to that little voice a lot more and your willpower definitely drops. And as an added bonus, going to bed a little bit early, that'll help keep you from those late night snacking temptations, all right? Another tip that I have to help you make that transition to intermittent fasting easier is this. Go for a walk. All right? Sometimes the best thing that you can do when you're struggling with your fasting is to go out and just go for a walk. It takes you away from your fridge, the pantry. It gets you thinking about something other than food. Plus, walking or any other type of exercise, it boosts your endorphins and it makes you feel better. And I don't know about you, but most of us could really stand to move around a little bit more than we already do. So instead of breaking your fast or fixing a snack, go for a walk around the block, okay? The other tip that I have for you is that coffee and tea are your friends, all right? Listen, coffee and herbal teas are going to be some of your best friends during those fasting hours, all right? So when you get up in the morning, just drink a big cup or two of black coffee, all right? Don't put anything in it. You just got to drink it straight black, all right? This usually fills you up enough that you won't miss that breakfast. Herbal tea, it works really well at night, especially if you're a snacker, okay? I know that herbal tea may not be your favorite treat, but guess what? It gives you something tasty to sip that fills your belly. And when you drink something that's hot or warm, that actually makes your belly feel more full a lot sooner than it does when you drink something cold, all right? And if you do the herbal tea, it'll make you tired, okay? So it'll help you calm down and be able to go to sleep. So, you know what? Try these tips, okay? Try the herbal tea. See if that's enough to keep you from grabbing your favorite snack before you go to bed. Now, your next tip is, you know what? You're going to have to wait until next time to find out more. Remember, I said this is a two-part series. I can't give you all of those tips in one sitting, all right? So I've already given you guys some great advice on how to start intermittent fasting. But I do know that there are some of you who just may need or may want that extra help. And that's why we've created a weight loss system that follows intermittent fasting, okay? It guides you through the process. And it's called the 4-week weight loss system for busy moms and dads. And you can learn more about it just by clicking the link below. Now, like always, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking quote. This time is from the great C.S. Lewis. And what he said was, "This world is a great sculptor's shop. We are the statues, and there's a rumor going around the shop that some of us are someday going to come to life." So I'm going to let you chew on that one for a while. And remember, it's progress, not perfection. And until next time, power your life and keep moving forward.